Hello, my friends, and welcome to 5 for the Future for this week, the week of August 26th. Let's jump into the 5 topics that stood out to me recently as signals of change that could impact your small business. Are you ready to get started? Here are our 5 topics: small business and the economy, AI and jobs, groceries and politics, climate change innovations, and self-driving vehicles. All right, let's begin with our story number 1, small business and the economy. Despite the craziness of an election year and the worries about the economy, the Small Business Optimism Index rose in July and is at its highest value since February 2022. Small business owners agree that the past few years have required them to think creatively, but they now feel more confident in their skills, although still worried about inflation. In other good news, the SBA has launched a new financing program called 7A Working Capital Pilot Program to expand access to lines of credit for growth-oriented small businesses. And in news with an uncertain outcome, we're still waiting to find out, will the Credit Card Competition Act pass and help small businesses lower transaction fees? And will the pass-through deduction portion of the 2017 tax law expire or get extended? And finally, generation news. Did you know that over half of privately held businesses are owned by baby boomers who are looking to sell? The number of small businesses being sold now is high and on the rise. And you know who's buying? Millennials. You know what else is popular with millennials these days? The use of AI in their small business, with almost 60% of millennials and Gen Z already using AI tools, compared to only about 1/3 of Gen X and baby boomers. The main uses for these small business owners: customer data analysis, task automation, and cash flow analytics. So what does this mean for you and your small business? Well, pay attention to the news and take advantage of programs like the SBA Working Capital Program to help you maintain a competitive advantage and grow your small business. And look for AI tools geared towards small businesses and take advantage of them, even if you're old. And if you have opinions about politics, maybe don't share them about customers, but do be sure to vote. What might the future look like? In my ideal future, baby boomers are able to sell their businesses to millennials and others who will keep the business going and the team employed. I hate to see small businesses shut down or get acquired by giant companies that completely change the culture and dynamics. Help your fellow small business owners, and let's all work together to continue to be the biggest source of employment across the country. All right, moving on to story number 2, oldie but a goodie, AI and jobs. Yes, this is an ongoing topic here at 5 for the Future, and for good reason. It is a constantly changing one that can have a huge impact on small businesses. So some recent news about AI and jobs. First, about 3/4 of workers feel that AI tools are decreasing their productivity and adding to their workload. We don't trust AI, so if we assign a task to these tools, we have to be clear on what we're asking for and then review the output before we use it. Not super productive. So maybe AI isn't quite ready to take our jobs or even fully take on some tasks without human supervision. But it is important to start thinking about where AI tools can automate tasks and make our lives easier, and stop worrying about the impact on jobs or employment in general. So what does this all mean for you and your small business? Well, it's a whole lot easier for big businesses to, as one article said, explore and invest in AI, which could cause small businesses to lose out. So it's imperative that we all pay attention to AI tools that can help small businesses or perhaps even provide a competitive advantage. Leave customer interaction, innovation, and problem solving to the humans, and turn to AI for automation of rote tasks and analysis of large volumes of data. What might the future look like? A recent Wall Street Journal article hinted at a dystopian future where AI can be used to predict cognitive decline in executives based on its interpretation of your conversations. Better not forget someone's name or lose your train of thought. Or perhaps AI tools can help you counter that AI diagnosis by helping to improve your responses to questions or remind you of names or numbers you've forgotten. In this future, you may never know if the person speaking to you is speaking in their own words or with the help of an AI chatbot. And with that, let's move on to our story number 3, groceries and politics. I don't like to stray into politics, but now both parties are claiming they can somehow magically erase inflation. And I feel like that's not how things work, even if inflation is a top issue for small business owners. So articles about grocery prices and politicians have been in the news a lot lately, so let's look at groceries as an example. Profit margins at grocery stores are razor thin, and there's not much room for altering prices in a highly competitive industry like food. Not to mention, the President of the United States cannot just tell a grocery store or its suppliers what to charge, nor can they easily determine whether companies are price gouging or just making ends meet as their own costs rise. Leaders from both parties have attempted to regulate prices in different ways, and it rarely has the desired impact. What does this mean for you and your small business? Well, as far as I'm concerned, any talk about controlling inflation while president is just that, talk. There's very little that can be done, and the shifts are slow to come. Inflation is trending in the right direction now, so maybe don't mess with what's working. As one article shared, to really address pricing issues, consider things like lowering credit card fees, as in story number 1, reviewing regulatory hurdles, and enforcing existing antitrust and fair competition laws. So what might the future look like? More of the same, likely. Politicians of either party want to focus on the issues that concern voters, but they can't always actually affect that kind of change. Maybe AI tools will cut through all the malarkey spouted by politicians to get just the facts out there. Or, maybe not. All right, moving on to story number 4, climate change innovations. Innovation is the key word here, and likely funding for green innovation is what's spurring some of this. So what kinds of new cool things are being introduced these days with or without funding from the government? Well, if you live in California, be sure to check out the cool new electric commuter trains in the San Francisco area. They are faster, quieter, cleaner, and brand new. And if you're in Texas, check out the giant 3D robotic printers that are constructing new homes. The homes are constructed in just 3 weeks using fewer workers, cheaper materials, and generating less waste. Over in Germany, a startup has developed a cargo ship that runs on wind with a huge kite pulling the vessel. Creative. Meanwhile, in Japan, researchers have come up with a new fermentation method that transforms edible leftovers and scraps into feed for pigs. And in South Korea, 98% of food waste is recycled into compost, feed, and energy. Also, China has cut the number of permits for coal-fired plants by nearly 80% in the first half of 2024 and has rapidly accelerated wind and solar power. Finally, if the heat and humidity are making it too hard to work outside, then consider wearable air conditioning with technology that could be integrated into clothing, offering cooling capabilities. Very innovative. So what does this mean for you and your small business? In disruption, there is opportunity, and we are in the midst of big-time disruption in the energy industry, so look for your opportunities in this rapidly changing market. And recognize that climate change also creates opportunity for innovation. So be open to addressing the issues that come along with those dangerously high temps and other more severe weather events and extremes. What might the future look like? I've said this before, look to science fiction to get a sense for where we could be heading. Start with The Ministry for the Future by Kim Stanley Robinson and Termination Shock by Neil Stephenson. The future is full of opportunity for innovative entrepreneurs. And on to our final story, story number 5, self-driving vehicles. The U.S. Department of Transportation is planning for a future of autonomous vehicles with the goal of eliminating roadway fatalities using their new V2X, or Vehicle to Everything technology. This communication protocol, along with self-driving vehicles, can help ensure that accidents don't happen. And tech startups are also working on roadside technology to make our roads safer and prepare for all these autonomous vehicles. We're getting closer by the day to this new world. First, there's a new addition of automatic emergency braking in some new cars, which detects a potential crash with sensors and engages your brakes to avoid the collision. And in some cities, including San Francisco, you can hail a driverless cab in lieu of an Uber or Lyft. Tesla's busy perfecting their own version of a robotaxi, although they're a bit behind schedule. But it's time to start learning a new acronym, FSD, or Full Self-Driving. So what does this mean for you and your small business? Pay close attention to this market because it won't be just cars that will be FSD, but also trucks delivering products across the country, or barges delivering products across the ocean, or trams, or trains, or drones. Human error will be removed from the transportation equation, for better or for worse. And if your business does anything that involves transportation, or if you order supplies, or drive to work, you could be impacted. If you want to be involved rather than just impacted, then perhaps pay a little closer attention to this rapidly growing market. What might the future look like? Imagine a future where your car keeps you from running into another car, or a bicycle, or a person. Where you can't speed because your car maintains the speed for you. Where you can't just go for a drive, but have to input a destination. Don't worry, I think this future is still a ways away. Well, first off, many of us, myself included, aren't quite ready to give up driving our cars because it's fun, like in my awesome 6-speed manual transmission Audi TT. And the bugs are still being worked out with self-driving taxis. Turns out overnight when they go park themselves, the vehicles sometimes honk for over an hour while they park, notifying the other self-driving cars in the lot that they're nearby. Who are they honking at? There's no people. Still room for improvement there. All right, one bonus story for you today, weird shoe combos. I love to share weird food combinations that attract attention, but this time we're talking about shoe combinations. The founder of Spanx claims she has created a comfortable high heel shoe called Sneaks, promoting it as a luxury hybrid stiletto or a high, HY, heel sneaker. They look like sneakers with stiletto heels, which to me means the worst of both worlds. Not to mention the prices start at $395. I think I'll stick with my plain old sneakers. But you can check them out yourself at sneaks.com, SNEEX.com. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. I hope these 5 topics and my take on them got you thinking about how these signals of change could ultimately impact your business. Thanks for joining me.